Good morning, everyone. It is 9 o'clock on the button. I want to apologize for no closing comment yesterday or the Daily Note. We had very high winds here, and the power was knocked out until about 10:30. And at that point, I didn't really think it was necessary. Okay, this is your pre opening comment for Tuesday, the 28th, and it is video number 1989. And it is quiet, doesn't even begin to say it. When I came down an hour ago, the Dow was down about 5. Right now, it's down about 10. The S&P was down 5, it's down 6. And the Nasdaq, which was down 17, is now down 20. So not really a lot of action. I want to follow up on a couple of things that I mentioned yesterday morning. THAR, that is a biotech that has a had a 1 for 25 reverse. It had closed at 288 and opened yesterday as high as 535 and uh, closed at the end of the day. Let's see, closed at around four. It was 453 and it closed on the low of the day around 351, which was still up 22%. This morning, it's given it all back. It's $1.08, and that is down $2.43 or 69%. I cannot tell you enough that these are flash in the pan names, their momentum, and when it stops, everybody rushes for the door. Okay, iRobot, which has had a very interesting last couple of days. They were doing a deal with Amazon, so the Roomba, that's what iRobot makes, not like the movie. Um, uh, on Wednesday, it closed 29.83. On Thursday, when the deal was announced with Amazon, it was 41.48, up 40%. Yesterday morning, the EU came out and said it was anti-competitive, so it turned back down from that 41.48 to 31.13 and closed at 34.41, down 707 or 17%. This morning it's trading 35.25 and that is up 90 cents. GE Health got a downgrade yesterday. We had a small position in it, 100 shares in the large account. We sold it at 71.09 for a profit of about $1,435, taking the big accounts year to date gains to 21%. The options only account is still at about 36%. This morning we have Arginex. They had a trial failure. The stock was 496 yesterday. It got down to 414 and is now at the high of the day at 453, but down 42.75 or 8.4%. The futures the grains were down again yesterday after trying to rally. They're basically unchanged this morning. And I have to laugh at the people who write for the CNBC crawl on the bottom. Up until 7:59, they have headlines there. That's where I get my Asia and Europe ideas. Asia was in fact up overnight. Europe was down. But for the last 2.5 days, every time I look at the crawl, it says Oil down on OPEC plus meeting. This morning, it says oil up on OPEC plus meeting. So, these guys need to do a little more in depth work. The oil is still hanging right in there, uh, went down to the bottom, right back into support at 75, up a little today. It's kept a really interesting kind of channel here. Um, and, you know, this is a very divergent chart because even though it's at support and near the lows, the MACD has gone from overbought to oversold and has rolled back to the upside as of yesterday's action. Gold higher again. It's getting to the point where it looks like it may break out again. It's 2020 up almost 8. I'll give you a quick look at that one. And as you can see, it's been a classic chart. I mean, it's got the trend line, it broke out above the trend line, came into resistance up here around the 2015, came back to the point of breakout and started right back up again. A close here sets up a test of maybe 2050, 2060, and a look at the weekly on it gives you a little better perspective of where we are. This is the most recent high at 2085. That's below the 2089 all time high. And we bounced off the 200 week, and I expect neither of these is actually overbought, not the RSI and not the MACD. So I'm thinking we could go higher there. The dollar looked like it was breaking to the downside at the end of last week. Let's get to that. I'll show you what I'm looking at, and its MACD, I believe, rolled over. It was in this week's charts with comments in the letter. It was in this box from the high to the low, stayed in there, rolled to the downside, and then broke below that 104 area, and we've been as low. Well, today is the low so far, and that is 102.95 and a half. A look at the daily makes it a little bit clearer. Let's bring this in a little. As you can see, broke through little double top at the top of that box, broke to the downside, and then everything rolled over, and we had now, as of Friday, we closed below the 200-day MA, and we've continued. Now, we do have some support here at 102, and certainly plenty in this area between 102.60 and let's call it 101.60. The MACD getting a bit extended on the downside, and relative strength is in an area that is not quite as oversold as the last rally, but it is getting there. All right, folks, that's about it. Let me just give you an update. The oil is up 1% right now. The S&P is down $5.75. The Dow is down 53 cents, and the Nasdaq is down 17. The Nasdaq is being influenced by the chip stocks. Nvidia down, Micron is 74.79. That's down 272. So that's fairly substantial. All right, folks, have a good day. Be careful out there, and I'll be back tonight, barring any uh, lack of power.